Hey everybody, it's day 127 on the CDT, and let's see, it's September 1st, so we're in the month of September, which means the countdown to winter, or at least the first snowfall on Glacier, is underway. It's been on the back of my mind since I stepped on the trail in Mexico, and now that I'm in Montana and less than, well, about 500 and something miles away, it's ever present. So a few things happened today. First, our app that we use for navigation on our phones, the CDT is broken into 5 sections: New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho / South Montana, and then North Montana is the 5th. And I switched over to the North Montana maps today, which means that I'm in the last section. Yay. Today was a doozy. We'll get to that in a second. The second thing that happened, I passed 2,300 miles today. So, sorry, I still have sodium in my eye from the sweat. So I'm only like 350 miles shy of the PCT mileage I did, and I'm about 550-ish miles from the end of trail at Canada. So 2,300 miles. The third thing that happened today is I had another bear encounter. This one was a little bit more pleasant. The bear ran as soon as it heard me. I turned a corner and was saying "Yo bear" every 15 seconds, and I tried to say "Yo bear" whenever I turn a corner on a switchback or whatever, regardless if they every 15 seconds thing. And I said "Yo bear," and the bear ran off. So I said it a little bit louder, and it kept running. I'm pretty sure it was a black bear. I only saw its right hindquarters and leg, so I know it was a bear, and I think it was a black bear. So 6th bear encounter, yay. They're becoming more frequent as I get further into Montana, so I definitely need to keep making noise. And I know specifically when I start getting north of Helena, I need to be mindful. I'll probably pull out my bear bell and use that so there's noise continuously instead of me just yelling every 15 seconds. But north of Helena, once we start approaching East Glacier, which is a city, not the Glacier National Park, there's something called the Bob Wilderness, and there every so often there's a story that comes out of the Bob Wilderness of someone getting mauled by a grizzly bear. So I definitely do not want to be that person getting in that story. So I will probably start using my bear bell up there as well as yelling. So those are the 3 things that happened today. Hiking wise, I mentioned earlier it was a doozy, and you can see it's a creepy tent video. That's because I was hiking pretty late. So because we're in Montana, the sun is staying out longer for us, of course. And that rhymed. It's the sun's staying out till about 8:35-ish. Unless we're like, if I'm and when I say we, I mean any hikers. If we're camped down further, like in the forest, like last night I was camped pretty low. It was in the 7,000 something. I can't remember if it was 7,200, 7,300, somewhere around there, I think. Anyway, it was pretty low. It was definitely in the trees, and it was a dark night. Like, I usually, when my alarm goes off and I open my eyes, I can start seeing like the silhouette of my tent, because it's white. I opened my eyes and it was pitch black. So when you're a little bit further down, the sun doesn't stay around till like 8:35-ish. It usually is gone about 20 minutes earlier, or you know, depending if there's clouds in the sky, it could be even earlier. It could be around 8 or so. So I got finished hiking tonight at 7:15. I quickly filtered 2 liters of water, cooked my dinner, let it sit, filtered a 1/3 liter, put up my tent, got my CamelBak set, and put some electrolytes in so I could drink those. Ate my dinner, stretched, finished filtering the water, and cleaned up stuff and got in the tent. So I was able to do that from 7:15 to 8:45 is when I got into the tent. So that's pretty good, considering I filtered 4 liters of water because I was pretty low on water. The reason why I got into camp late is because the up and downs that people talk about in the Idaho and South Montana section, like on the border, man, they've been continuing. I think in yesterday's video I said I hoped that tomorrow, meaning today, it would diminish, and it did not. I had 5 mountain passes or mountains. It was 1 mountain and 4 mountain passes that I went over today. The first 2 were 1,300 feet of ascent elevation gain. The third was about 1,200 feet, I think. And then the final 2, the pass as well as the mountain, were about 1,700 feet. So 1,700 times 2, 3,400, 13 times 2, 26. So that's 40, 60, so 7,200 feet for those 5 passes. And I'm rounding, so it was probably a little bit more. Plus, when you're descending, there's some up and down. And to get up to camp here, there was a bit of ascent at the end of the day, a couple hundred feet. So if the true number was something like, 7,600, 7,800 feet of ascent today, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll just say more than 7,200. So that's a lot. We're not getting as high as we did in Colorado, but 2 of the 4th and the 5th ascent today, 2 of them got above 9,000 feet. The rest of them were above 8,000 feet. High 8,000s, like 8,800. So like the first thing, I got out of camp this morning and I hit the first ascent right straight away. And I got finished with that one, got down on the descent, and immediately was up again. I got down on the descent of that one, and the trail kind of weaved a little bit, so it was taking us somewhere, but that meant that I didn't go up straight away. But soon enough, I was going up the 3rd ascent, and the same thing. There was a little bit of a kind of a weave after the descent to kind of get us somewhere, and then the 4th and 5th were just up and down. I didn't come all the way down. I didn't come all the way down on the 5th descent because there was a side shoot off to a lake. So I came down and then went up a couple hundred feet, and then hiked about 100 feet off trail to a camp over here by the lake. So I'll probably finish that descent tomorrow. And then I looked already for tomorrow, and we have another up immediately. So like I'll descend, I think, a few hundred feet, and then I have like a 900 or 1,000 foot ascent. And that's where the Anaconda Cutoff alternate kind of it actually diverges from the CDT proper. And I'll stay on the CDT proper. So I think that ascent tomorrow, I don't think it goes over 900 or 9,000 feet. I think it's high 8s. So I think that ascent is the last big one. Whether you take the Anaconda Cutoff or stay in the red line, I think things are going to start easing up. There's still going to be some up and down, but not anything as drastic as we've done the last 2 days. Like today was 5 passes. I'm just going to call them passes, even though one was a mountain. And yesterday, the last thing I went over, plus a few of the others, I mean, I called them dirt mountains yesterday, I think. because they didn't have names. We were just going up and over them, but there were a couple named passes I went over yesterday. And then tomorrow, I think the last up is also named pass. So that's quite a bit of up and down in a very short period of time. Regardless, I got into camp a little bit late. I hiked about just shy of 26 miles, I think. So a bit tired. Let's see, anything else happened today? Oh, the last 3 days have been really nice weather. There's every once in a while there's a cloud in the sky, but for the most part it's been blue skies, and that's not surprising for two reasons. One, Montana usually stops getting rain, I think, in August, and they have a dry spell, and that's where the fires kick up. This year it's a little bit delayed. So maybe that's why, like, the fire just kicked up on the trail ridge that I hiked through, 2 days ago with some other hikers. So maybe some fires will kick up. I hope not. The second reason is not surprising is the same thing happens in Colorado with the monsoon season. I don't know if it's happening this year because Colorado had a really wet monsoon season, but in traditional years, the monsoon will start slowing down like right at the end of August or into September, and Colorado will get some stable weather. September is actually a really good month to hike 14ers and 13ers because you get the stable weather. The snow's melted as much as it's going to, pretty much. The days are a little bit cooler, but it's still, sunny days, and there's not that threat. Well, for the most part, in traditional years, there's not that threat of an afternoon monsoon, which means that when it's colder in the morning and you don't have as much light, you can start just a little bit later and hike later into the afternoon, which means that those longer hikes that you didn't get to do like in July and August when the monsoons were coming in, so like a lot of saw wash ranges, or going out to like Wilson, Mount Wilson and El Dente, like those longer hikes, you can usually get those in September before the snow starts flying, just because the weather's a little bit more stable. So seeing that the weather has kind of stabilized now that it's September, perhaps the same thing's happening in Montana, as where like the monsoon is, or the rains are not, they're not going to fall as frequently. So that just is further motivation for me to get going and get north as quickly as possible, so I'm not getting caught by fire. Oh yeah, so an update. I do have kind of a bruise and scratches on my left shoulder from when I fell yesterday. My face, you can see, is just a little bit puffy, but the scratches are pretty mundane. Nothing big on this left side, like you don't see any bruising or anything like that. So I got pretty lucky with that fall. I think, like, if I try to put on my jacket and put my left arm behind me, there's a little bit of tenderness, as you saw on my face. But for the most part, I think I got away pretty lucky. So I got about 3 more days until I hike into Butte. Anaconda, that cutoff is shorter, so I don't know what theirs is, but most hikers, I think, are taking Anaconda. So I'm expecting not to see a whole lot of hikers the next 3 days into Butte, and I'm hoping the trail calms down so I can get some, pretty solid miles in to catch up that first day out of town because of the fire. So I think that's about it. I'm going to go so I can stretch and go to bed, or finish stretching and go to bed. Thanks for watching the videos. I hope everyone's doing well, and have a nice weekend, and I'll talk to folks tomorrow. All right, bye.